Hello, and thank you for watching this regional forecast for the Canadian Prairie. I'm Andrew Pritchard, Senior Meteorologist with Nutrien Ag Solutions. Let's look at temperatures here as we get started on this Friday morning across the Prairie. Warmest in the east, cooler in the west, and we're going to be setting up a pattern that really kind of just locks that in as we head into the weekend and then especially early next week. Cooler in the west, warmer in the east. Heavy precipitation on the table for just about everyone as we head into, again, the weekend and early next week. It's going to be because of a trough setting up across western Canada, across the Pacific Northwest. Right now, we see the very strong jet stream winds. You can see this coming across the Atlantic. Let me go ahead and just hit play on this once more. And it's this strong wave that's going to be kind of deepening itself, parking itself right about here, such that we've got these strong jet stream winds funneling into the prairie. And that's going to kick off a very active 5 to 7 days. So you look at precipitation on the radar right now, just some light shower activity making its way through central portions of Alberta into central Saskatchewan. We'll be watching that precipitation amp up, though, as we head into the weekend and beyond. We'll take a look at that with the high-resolution NAM model, bringing it back here to this early Friday morning, taking it into Friday afternoon. It's going to be rather quiet, still looking at that shower, maybe a few thunderstorms across portions of central Alberta into central Saskatchewan, but it really ramps up as we head into the weekend. Here we get into Saturday afternoon and evening. You can start to make out a little bit more of a well-defined area of low pressure here. We've got kind of a warm front draped from west to east along the north of Highway 16. That'll kick off some more widespread shower activity with a better chance for more scattered thunderstorm activity off to the south of that. We'll continue on into Sunday. This gets even more well-defined as we head into Sunday afternoon. We'll be watching for warm air being advected in advance of the storm system. It's going to create an unstable atmosphere kind of on the eastern half of the prairie with cooler air coming in on the backside. So really, if I had to kind of describe the next 5 to 7 days, you can draw a line almost from northeastern Saskatchewan through southwestern Saskatchewan. And on this side to the west, it's going to be more of a cool, rainy pattern and cool by late June standards. We're not plunging into any sort of, spring-like weather or anything like that, but on the cooler side. But then as you head off to the east of that line, this is where we're going to be a little more on the warm side, a little hotter, a little more unstable. We'll be looking for more in the way of thunderstorm, potentially severe thunderstorm activity as we head into early next week. So total precipitation, or I guess I have the instability here. I'm going to kind of make my case here for the higher severe weather threat across the southern and eastern portion of the prairie. And again, that's because of the trough being aligned like this. We've got the unstable sector, the warm sector of each of these little waves focused again across southeastern Saskatchewan into the southern half of Manitoba, and that is where we'll have the energy for those storms to become severe periodically as we head into early next week. Here it is, total precipitation then between now and midday on Monday. Notice the scattered nature here. There will be big winners, big losers as we head through the next 3 to 4 days. The big winners, of course, the ones who end up under some of those thunderstorms over the next few days, and then filling in the gaps there with maybe the shower activity continuing into early next week. Again, the reason for this trough right now, you see the tightly packed isobars here across the Pacific. Those are the very strong jet stream winds kind of sandwiched between this area of high pressure to the south, our trough up to the north. And as we head into early next week, as I take the letters off of this, we're going to again lock that trough in across the western prairie, across the western United States, such that we end up with a flow like that. So again, cooler in the west, warmer in the east, but very active across the prairie here with precipitation opportunities continuing almost daily into early next week. So our temperatures, again, this is going to be that west to east disparity as we head into early next week, looking for cooler conditions in the east, warmer conditions in the west, and that is going to be the theme as we head all the way into mid to late week before we see things kind of washing back out. So let's look at the European model precipitation forecast, just kind of raw model output. Heading through the afternoon today, again, dry for many. Maybe some showers here as you head back toward the Peace River region into maybe Calgary, maybe seeing some light shower activity. But the rain and the thunderstorms really ramp up overnight across portions of central Alberta into central Saskatchewan with that first area of low pressure that lifts across the region. We'll have a front kind of draped back behind that. We'll see our next area of low pressure kind of riding along that frontal boundary as we head into Sunday. So Sunday, looking for that widespread shower and thunderstorm activity again across much of the prairie. A chance for some severe storms across southern Manitoba. As we head into Monday, and then on into Tuesday, we're seeing kind of the same thing. We'll talk about kind of the short-term forecast with each of these waves, as it's rather hard to pin down each round of showers and storms, each little short wave that's going to rotate around this trough. But the general theme is almost daily chances for showers and storms across the region as we head through the weekend into early next week. So here's a look at between now and Friday, the next 7 days, the probability of 25 millimeters or more of precipitation from the European ensemble. And I'm noticing a theme here. Now, when I put together a map yesterday for a report that goes out to some of our growers or our managers across the Canadian Prairie, this was a little more uniform as you look from west to east across the Prairie. Now we're starting to see this little gap, this little area, potentially, let me draw that in a different shade here than orange, right around maybe southeastern Saskatchewan, southeastern Alberta, southwestern Saskatchewan, maybe west central Saskatchewan, with a lower chance here of that precipitation, maybe getting missed here where some of the north side precipitation kind of slams central Alberta and then runs off to the north of Highway 16, and then we get these repeated rounds of heavier, severe storms across southeastern Saskatchewan into southern Manitoba. So just about everyone with a pretty high probability of getting at least 25 millimeters of precipitation as we head through the next week. But eyes to the southern border of Alberta and Saskatchewan for maybe an area that's going to end up maybe getting a little bit missed here as we head through the next week. The good news is I think much of this area has had some recent precipitation such that we don't have any immediate high concerns about drought across the region. So it's not the end of the world if we end up getting a little bit missed in this area. Certainly correct me if I'm wrong and I'm singling out a field here that it really needs a drink, but perhaps you'll end up lucky. I'm going to move on from this, but just something I've noticed here, a little bit of a trend over the last 24 hours, is to maybe leave that region a little bit drier as we head through the next 7 days. A look at your temperatures. Here is that trough arriving in the Calgary area, high of only 15 on Sunday, which that is certainly cool for this time of year, warming back up to around 20 degrees for you and the Edmonton area as we head into the early part of the next work week. Regina, you're falling off from the upper 30s today to the lower 20s over the next several days into early next week, and a similar look here in Saskatoon. The difference, Winnipeg. Off to the east, you will be holding on to temperatures in the lower 30s to the upper 20s all the way into next week, and that is going to come along with the threat for severe storms every couple of days across portions of southern Manitoba back into southeastern Saskatchewan as we deal with this trough parked across the region into middle, potentially late next week. Have a great day, a wonderful weekend. I'll talk to you all again on Monday morning, and we'll reassess things as we head into next week.